Beautiful people, welcome back again to another video. If you are new in this channel, you are highly welcome. Join our family to hit that red button down below on the bell notification icon, so whenever we have a new video in this same channel, you will get notified. And thank you so much for chilling in. I love you all.
The North are preparing to leave Nigerian states. By this preparation, they are building a refinery in Daura. They have tried to link up ties with their northern region through railway. Construction, heavy construction of railways is going on. They are building refineries so that once Nigeria break up, they can have something to fall back on. You can imagine that's injustice. How could you be building refinery in Daura, Katsina State, the state of the supposed inactive president? Because I've not seen the president of any country in the world that could not address the people that gave him the mandate. You see, he presides over the affairs of the country, and if needs arises for him to address the people. I have not heard him address since over 3 years now. And you call him a president. It is not my president. I can never identify with a dead element. So once you can address the public, then it means you are not in existence. There is cessation of physical correspondence. And that is considered dead. So for me, it's unfortunate that the southern governors are just waking up too late. And now, Uzodinma, instead of mellowing down and re-strategize how to win the people's hearts, ended up escalating the situation. And now, of course, it is on the news that the leader of IPOB, in the person of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, has debunked taking being responsible for the unknown gunmen. He said he never knew them, but he of course commended their action, seeing that of course it's a group of people who feel aggrieved over the level of injustice, the killings that have been going on within their locality. They now rose up. It could be the spirits of the slain that have risen and have taken up gun against the Nigerian state. And today we call them unknown gunmen. Some people call them the unknown angels of vengeance. And these so-called southern governors kept mute all these decades, all this while, only just crying foul when everything is almost lost. But all hope is not lost, because the people are living in that consciousness that they have to rise. They will not leave, of course, their destiny in the hands of these few elements who have no interest of their own people at heart. Don't be surprised. All this, their agitation, their requests, whatever they are canvassing for, of course, the North will not listen to them. I've told you that the North cannot grant whatever is their manifesto or their bid, what they are asking for, because the North knew that once that is done, they will lose control of the economy, they will lose control of the oil wells, they will lose control of virtually everything. So the North is going to give it the hardest push. Of course, when it gets to the National Assembly, you have the northern senators and House of Representatives in the majority. So they will not allow it to skirt through the National Assembly or the House of Representatives. There they will just bury it. So that's why I said that Nigeria can never move forward, because the people we have within the corridor are selfish. They are not patriotic in nature. So they place personal and ethnic interests above the national interests. That's why Nigeria is bound to collapse. because they will not promote anything that will not be to their own advantage. Though it might be noble, it might be objective, but they will want to trample on it because they will not be beneficiaries of such things. So that's why I said it might be dead on arrival. They are calling for confederation, they are calling for restructuring, which the North has always turned deaf ear to. I mean, the northern political oligarchies. So they will not welcome such a suggestion at the end of the day. They will play around it, play politics with it. At the end of the day, they will sweep it under the carpet. And the cycle continue repeating. So it's high time with the southern governors come up with strong resolution and stand by it and demand for it. It is not a pleading. It is what is due for the people. We own the resources used to run this country. So we cannot be neglected and treated as second-class citizens. We own this country, we own the resources. It doesn't belong to the North. The entire southern regions produce over 90% of the resources of this country. And you are now using our money to build railways that link up with Chad. Why we don't have access road to my own village? We don't have access potable water, and you drill our oil, and you use the money to establish refinery in Daura, Katsina State. You can imagine the distance. So there is no other place you could site such refinery within the southern region. Is that what you're telling us? Look at Kaduna, look at them, the maritime industry was moved from, is it Bayelsa or so, down to the Kaduna State. Kaduna doesn't have any body of water, a good body of water. You see, all these injustices can no longer be acceptable. And the people are rising, of course, against such injustice. Yes, though our forefathers were able to live with it, but the next generation will no longer condone such. And that's why you see the Avengers here, you see the IPOBs, you see people agitating for Biafra, agitating for Duduwa, because we are no longer comfortable with the system. Let's reject the system. The revenue sharing formula does not favor the southern region. When it comes to revenue sharing, they say that they have the majority. The number of local governments in the northern states exceed that of the south. By that, they exploit the southern region. They manipulate us out of the scheme of things, scheme of events, in control of the resources, in control of the policy making body, the Senate and the House of Rep, and they're also in charge of the president. You can see we are almost losing virtually everything. See, everything at the exclusive list of the federal government. You that owns the oil, you can't even mine the oil in your state. You have to seek the consent of somebody sitting in Abuja, somebody coming from Daura, far Katsina State, to allow you, to give you consent to take what is in your backyard. And rather than using what is in your backside to compensate you, they would rather take it to Lake Chad, to Chad, Mali, to link up railway. How many railway is functional in Nigeria? How many railway has been linked from Lagos to Enugu? None is existing. And here you have a country and government that rather alleviating the problem of the people, they are aggravating it. And this is what people said, enough is enough. And when the people decide, I think that ends it. Unfortunately, we have been playing, partition and plain nonchalant attitude towards issues that borders on our existence, on our welfare. But now the people have risen. We are living in that consciousness. And that's why you see this unrest across the entire region. Not just one place. Nowhere is safe until we part our different ways. That is the only safest movement we can make at this time. Otherwise, you continue to record level of casualty that have not been heard in the history of the world. As of course the leader of indigenous people of Biafra said, he said that Somalia will be a child's play because things are building up gradually. Building up, you think that we are just playing. You think that it is just a child's play. But by the time it escalates, nobody will have a place to call Nigeria. And it's quite unfortunate that the people we have within the corridor of power are not helping issues.
Okay, let's look at what Professor Usman Yusuf said. He's a spokesman for the Fulanis. He said that the Southern governors must grant the Fulanis places for them to graze freely with their cattle. He insisted that that was the way peace could be fully restored to Southern states.
You see, that man is a very useless man. And you are making such imposition on the original owners of the land that we must give you a place. Don't worry, you don't even need to tell us. Come and take the place because you are a Fulani man. It's unfortunate. So that's why I said we cannot remain one. You can imagine the mentality of a supposed minority. They are minority. They don't belong to this country. So they should find their way. No wonder the Ghana have to kick them out. Central African Republic has to kick them out because with such mentality of domineering tendencies, they want to overshadow the original owners of the region, of the land, so that they can take over. That is purely their agenda. There's no other agenda they have rather than to overrun the Nigerian states, kill the original owners of those regions and occupy their land, their ancestral home. That is a confirmation. The spokesman using the word must is quite unfortunate. And we want to see how that goes down.
Okay, so we also have the former Senate leader, Senator Ali Ndume from APC, Borno South. Yesterday took a swipe at Southern governors for banning open grazing in the South. He also said as chief security officers of the state, the governors should stop the blame game and get to work to resolve the insecurities in the country. He also said because all of this is because according to Nduma, he said that the insecurity problem in the country had nothing to do with open grazing of cattle. Said there were different security challenges associated with the geopolitical zones of the country. So what do you think about this, what he's saying, Ndume?
Well, Ndume, of course, he's enjoying his time at the Senate. All his allowances have been paid. He's been surrounded with security personnel, so he wouldn't feel the heat of what is happening. You see, if he has a relative that went down to pick some pepper at the farm, at the backyard, and ended up being hacked to death, he wouldn't make such statement. If he has a mother, an aged mother that was raped to death, he wouldn't make such statements. If probably her own sister was one of the victims of those Fulani herders, he wouldn't make such statements. It's quite unfortunate. So me responding to him could be an insult. A man who, of course, they were the problem of this country. He constituted one of the problems of the state, of the country. See? By not addressing issues of great concern. Look at what he's saying, that the people that the Fulanis killed with the AK-47 are not human beings. By moving their cattle from one locality to the other, they perpetrate crime, heinous crime against humanity, and Ndume is not seeing that. It's quite unfortunate. But that notwithstanding, he's just expressing his opinion, and that is not binding to the southern people. So we are the southern people, we decide what happens to us, because by divine precedence we are given this region, and we cannot watch our land taken by a total stranger, irrespective of whatever might be their opinion. They are just making suggestions. They are not part of the family, and they don't decide otherwise. So it is unfortunately we have